What's up, y'all? Coach Kush 420, bringing you another meal a day. We're going to be doing a pan-roasted Chilean sea bass. We're doing a crispy, sticky rice cake, something I call yum slaw. We're going to do an orange miso broth. So here we go. Alright, so the thing about cooking is it's all about time management and multitasking. So that means you always want to start with the thing that's going to take the longest first. Which means we're going to start with our sushi rice. So we're going to take 2 rice cooker cups of a short grain white rice. We're going to put that into a metal bowl, run under some cold water. Make sure we agitate that with our fingers to break up and get all that starch out of there. We're going to rinse that off, put it back into our bowl. We're going to wash that about 3 more times until our water comes nice and clear. After that, we're going to put that into our rice cooker. And make sure that we fill it up to our appropriate water mark. We use 2, so we fill our water mark up to the line of 2. Set it onto sushi, push the button, and let that finish cooking, doing its thing. Once it's done cooking, we're going to let that sit for 20 minutes. But while that rice is cooking, we're going to start working on our prep work. Alright, so we're going to start making what I call yum slaw. I made this dish one time and a friend of mine just said, this just tastes like yum. So that's what we named this slaw. It consists of carrots, onions, a little nap of cabbage, and a little dressing that we're going to make. So first we're going to take our carrots, we're going to peel those from base to tip, and then we're going to cut those onto our Japanese mandolin. I use a mandolin because it gives me a nice consistent even cut all the way through, and it's a very simple tool to use, but just be careful because it will jump up and bite you. So next we're going to slice up our onions. We're going to do a nice thinly sliced onion. So first we're going to take it, we're going to cut it in half. So we're going to use half of an onion for our slaw. So whenever you're using a knife in the kitchen, you always want to make sure that you're keeping knife safety in mind. I always say you want to use the claw or you'll have a claw, which means to use the claw, you're going to keep your fingertips curled back behind your first knuckle. You're going to use the edge of your knife and you're going to run just like this along your fingertips or your knuckle so you don't cut your fingertips. We've just finished slicing our onion. Now it's time to move on to the nap cabbage. We're going to do a chiffonade cut, which is what we use on leafy greens or herbs, lettuces, things like that. It's very thinly sliced, about 1/8 of an inch thick. So we're going to slice through our nap cabbage, moving from tip to base. Alright, so now that our nap cabbage is all cut, we've got our onions and carrots and we've got our cabbage up in our bowl. We're going to start to mix those about. I like to just get my hands dirty. We're just going to get in there and just start giving it a good toss. We love to toss salad. Alright, folks. Alright, so we're going to start to make our vinaigrette for our yum slaw. We're going to add in some rice vinegar. We're going to add in some mirin, which is a sweet Japanese cooking wine. We're going to add in some sesame oil. And then we're going to toast off some sesame seeds. Toasting your sesame seeds is real easy. We're going to start off with a small little frying pan. We're going to heat that up about medium-high heat on your stove. Add in the sesame seeds. Just keep giving them a toss. Let them sit for a little bit to toast. You want to make sure that you keep them moving so that every little bit can get cooked and get nice and toasty golden brown. We're just going to start to combine those. Whisk them up together. We always want to make sure that we season our food. So we always want to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And in this instance, I'm going to add a little bit of sugar just to bring out a little extra sweetness in our vinaigrette. Giving it a good toss. Now the sushi rice sat for 20 minutes. We're going to pull that out. We're going to move it into our big metal bowl. We've already made our sushi vinegar, which is a mixture of rice vinegar, sugar, and salt. We want to make sure that we mix that up enough until our sugar and salt have dissolved. With our rice in the bowl, we're going to lightly sprinkle our vinegar over our rice paddle to try and spread it out over our rice nice and evenly. And then we're just going to cut back and forth through our rice to mix in that liquid. Now that our sushi rice is nice and coated in our sushi vinegar, we're ready to pan it up. So we're going to take our loaf pan, put down a nice layer of plastic wrap first, start to pile in our rice. Got a nice good seal on our saran wrap, and we really pushed that to get a nice tight form into it. We're going to put that pan right into the refrigerator and let that cool off. Sushi rice cake's cooling off in the fridge. Our slaw has been marinating. It's time to make our sauce. We're going to start by zesting off 2 of our 4 oranges. We're going to use some of that zest to make our sauce, and we're going to save some of that for garnish when we're done. We've cut our oranges in half. We're going to start to juice those. Could use a juicer, but I'm going to juice these over a fine mesh sieve and just squish them with my hands, because I'm a man guy. Squish them up. We've peeled up our ginger root. We're going to take that, we're going to slice that up nice and thin. We're going to stack those slices, we're going to cut those into thin strips. Then we're going to cross cut those to mince it up nice and fine. Next, we grab our peeled shallot. We're going to take some thin slices like we did our onion, but not cut all the way through. We're going to then cut back into the shallot just a little bit to give it more of a square cut. And then we're going to cross cut back into that to give it a nice fine mince. If you have any large chunks, just make sure you give it a quick little rough chop to get those nice and small. Now we build up some garlic cloves. Now we're going to mince that. And similar with the shallots, we're going to take some nice thin slices, cross cut back into that, and then chop that up nice and fine. Build our sauce, we're going to start by heating up a small sauce pot. We're going to add a little bit of oil. And we're going to start to sweat off our garlic, ginger, and shallots until you get a nice aroma. It should take only about a minute or 2. You want to make sure that you keep them moving, as therefore you don't burn anything. Once those have been sweat, you're going to add up your orange juice. Let that heat up, come to a simmer, and reduce. We're going to add in mirin, some rice vinegar, and some orange zest. Miso. Always make sure that you taste your food when you're cooking, as I said before. We're going to season this up with a little bit of salt and white pepper, and adjust anything of our other ingredients if needed. Alright y'all, it's time for the star of the show. I'm doing the Chilean Sea Bass. So the piece that I got happened to have skin on. We decided to cook it with the skin off. So to show you how to do that, first you're going to make sure that you take just the little bit edge of the fish that you can get a little bit of the skin. You're going to take your knife, go as flat as you can to the board, and just get right under it. You want to make sure that you get it nice and clean. You'll have a beautifully clean piece of skin with no flesh on it. Just like this. I'm going to take some salt and pepper, Make sure that we get it on all sides of our fish. Next, we're going to take our nice saute pan, get it nice and hot, throw in a little bit of olive oil, presentation side down first, get that nice and golden brown. Once you've reached that color, we're going to hit it on the sides just to give it just a little kiss of that heat to sear up the edges so the juices don't come flowing out. Once we've hit both sides, we're going to put it down on the skin side. We're going to put our pan into the oven and let it finish cooking. Our fish is cooking in the oven, should take about 5 to 6 minutes. Gives us plenty of time to do our sticky rice cake. We're going to take our pan out of the refrigerator. We're going to unwrap our rice cake from the plastic wrap. We're going to cut it into about 2-inch wide piece. We're going to sear off the sticky rice cake in a nice small saute pan with a little bit of hot oil until the rice is nice and golden brown on top and bottom, and they'll be ready to serve. So everyone eats with their eyes first, right? The white plate is the chef's canvas. I tend to build my dishes with height and try to use nice vibrant colors. So to plate our dish, we're going to start off with our crispy sticky rice cake in the center of the plate. We're going to add on our yum slaw. We're going to put on our nice golden brown Chilean sea bass. Drizzle a nice pool of our orange miso broth. We finish off with a little garnish of our orange zest. And there we have our pan roasted Chilean sea bass on a crispy sticky rice cake with what I call yum slaw and our orange miso broth. I hope you guys enjoy it.